Carload pass here for caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Some things are never meant to be discussed in polite society. Welcome to Impolite Society.
The Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7 WMMS.
I'm going to talk to JB Smoove here in a couple of minutes. He is doing the physical therapy tour to get him to the Agora on Saturday night. And I'll have another $1,000 for you to win, too, in a few minutes. About 10. So listen for the next keyword to go fund yourself. You get those about 30 past the hour. Last few days to do that, too. I think we're doing it right up to, I think maybe Friday's the last day. I'm not sure if we're doing it Thanksgiving, beginning of Thanksgiving week. A lot of people telling me out there in Northwest Ohio that there had been so many minks out there. They've been hit on the road. They had to break the snowplows out to remove all the mink bodies on the road. That's what I'm talking about. You get those cow catchers out there, snowplows and stuff, scooping up those minks. Because then you got to turn them back over to you got to take them back to the farm. It's their property, right?
Yeah.
They got released from that farm.
But I'm guessing there's also plenty they're just getting ran over and, yeah.
5-finger discount.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a couple, put them in the trunk. Honey, I got some gloves for you. Or they will be gloves. Future gloves. Hey, Larry.
Yes.
How are you?
Good. I got a mink story for you. About
boy.
25 years ago or so, I lived in Avon at the time, and my house was surrounded by probably 30, 40-acre farm field and a couple little ditches running through it. And I had a chow-chow at the time, and got up in the morning, went out to feed her, and lo and behold, one of them crawled up there and got in her pants, and she took care of it.
Got in her pants?
Oh, not down her pants. She killed it.
I thought you said got in her path. Oh, I thought you said got in her pants.
Got in her path.
Yeah.
Got in her path, and then she took care of it. She was a pretty mean little dog.
Oh, your dog killed the mink.
Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking because they say these minks will go after stuff bigger than them, so I wasn't sure if you were telling me that
she killed that thing sometime during the night and then dug a shallow grave and packed it in there, and then I went out to feed her and I was like, what in the heck is that? And I kicked it out of there and I was like, wow.
A shallow grave. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you get caught, just like people. That's how you get caught, the shallow grave.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Larry. There's Larry out in Avon. Cavaliers lose last night in Milwaukee. It's not a shock, but it's a bummer. 113-98 to the Bucks. Cavs will stay at home for a few days. Play the Hornets tomorrow night, 7:30. I was reading an article this morning about how Isaac Okoro is an offensive nightmare for the Cavaliers right now.
Yeah,
that he is not living up to expectations. I have to admit I haven't been paying very close attention to him. I know they drafted him from Auburn University. I do know that because that's my dad's alma mater. War Eagle. And I've heard the name, of course. You hear Isaac Okoro, but apparently he's not playing well at all.
Yeah, they kind of were using him as a defensive specialist, but he's so atrocious on the offensive side of the ball that it's becoming a huge weakness, and it's just a bummer because the kid works real hard.
Mm-hmm.
He just doesn't have that offensive game.
Yeah, people are saying that they need to seriously have a conversation about trading him.
Yeah. I mean,
so how do you trade a guy when you go, this guy's no good? Because different teams need different things?
Different teams need different things. Sometimes it changes scenery. Sometimes, you get with the right coach or less, situations that have less pressure.
Yeah.
And right now I think he is really in his head about it too. So he can't get out of his own way. He's got the yips kind of.
Okay. So he's turning into a draft bust then.
Yeah. Which is a bummer because he had certain flashes here and there where like, oh, maybe he could turn this around and but he just hasn't really, he can't consistently score. And if you got a guy that can't consistently score in that position, especially, you're not going to get playing time. You're not going to make it.
Okay. Nobody's going to pass you the ball. You'll stand there and go, hey, I'm open. Hey, back here. Hey, I'm open.
But why would we give it to you? Can't make shots.
Plus, everybody else is still playing, and he's just standing there.
Just standing there.
Hey!
He might pass to him, but then he'll pass on his shot. I mean, you got a similar thing going on with Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Where he's afraid to shoot.
Yeah.
And he's the guy that has the ball in his hands. He plays point guard, so that's no good.
All right. Well, is it because he's Australian and everything seems upside down to him?
That could be it. It's a good. You know what? I was going to call Steve Nash, but he's gone. So
No, he's not with the Nets anymore.
I'll call whoever their new coach is.
Steve Nash is just banging his hot wife and taking his the rest of his pay package.
The NBA is in a bit of a flux right now because you got
everything's upside down.
Some of the biggest superstars are on teams that are not winning. You got LeBron on the Lakers; they have a losing record. You have Kevin Durant on the Nets; they have a losing record. Even the Warriors have a losing record right now.
Yeah.
So it's
Warriors are 6-9.
Yeah, nice.
That is very, very nice. Hey, great news, by the way. Well, this is a classic good news, bad news situation.
Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Nerd alert!
Classic good news, bad news. The bad news is you're incarcerated. The good news is they're banning Dungeons and Dragons in federal prisons. I consider that good news, right?
What? That's their fantasy escape.
That's good news.
I think that's bad news.
First of all, who knew they were doing this? Who knew nerds had that kind of street cred in the joint?
Hey, when you have nothing else to do and you got all day to do it, why not play some D&D?
State prisons around the country, federal prisons, have banned Dungeons and Dragons because they're concerned about gang behavior. Are you going to be worried about the D&D gang, by the way? Is that really where the focus of your security apparatus is going to be pointed?
I think it's the strategy aspect of it where they go, okay, we're put into all these difficult situations by the dungeon master. How can we apply this to taking over the prison, escaping the prison? They're learning all these ways to work together. And it scares them.
It doesn't seem very practical, though. I mean, it seems like what you would be role-playing in Dungeons and Dragons if you're an 8th level orc. I don't know how that really is going to translate into breaking out of the joint. I mean, those people already, the people who are in federal prison there for whatever they're in for, they can just confer with each other on how to learn how to do things. If this is something that keeps people happy and calm, well, I don't see the problem.
Maybe it's not keeping people calm, though.
Oh.
Maybe there's D&D fights breaking out because, you know, they're rolling a 1 instead of a 20. And then you have all people probably sneaking in contraband. The die is the 20-sided die. That's not
20-sided.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not what they're regularly using.
Okay. Well, there was a guy who sued a prison that he was in. He said he was a dungeon master, and he sued. Said he violated his First Amendment rights. And they ultimately decided that inmates pretending to be wizards is not good. But they're not wizards. They are still prisoners.
Yeah, they're just playing a game.
They're playing a game. Which leads me to wonder, what games can you play? Because nobody's going into the joint with Dungeons and Dragons. Somebody had to buy it for them. Somebody had to bring it for them. What games? Can you get Uno at the commissary?
I'm sure there's plenty of card games. I'm sure there's Uno and, just regular decks of cards.
We haven't gotten prison mail in a long time, and I would love to ask somebody about that, about whether or not.
I'm a big fan of Connect 4.
You can. Well, that I understand banning Connect 4 in federal prison because they're worried about one felon connecting with 3 other felons. That I get. Dungeons and Dragons. You're already in a makeshift dungeon if you're in federal prison. There aren't going to be any dragons. There's probably a guy they call the dragon. There's probably a couple of grand dragons in federal prison.
Probably people chasing the dragon.
Right, depending on how far south of the Mason-Dixon line you find yourself. Let me give you this money here, and then I want to talk to JB Smoove. It's a chance to grab $1,000. You can go fund to yourself. Listen closely, grab this money, and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WIN at WMMS.com. That's WIN. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Hey, JB, is that you?
Hey, man, what's going down?
How are you, pal?
Man, you know me, man. I'm just going.
I do know you. It's been a few years since you've been on. I think last time we were talking about the Book of Leon. That's been a few years, but now.
Oh, it's been a few years, man.
Yeah.
But the book is still relevant, though. Just you put it in the bottle and throw it in the ocean.
I'll tell you what, it's evergreen, right? The lessons to be learned from the Book of Leon are never going to go out of style.
It never will, man.
No.
It's current. It's current, evergreen. It's all things to all people. They don't even know what, maybe when aliens show up, they'll find it. And they'll open that book up and say, oh, this is what it is, or what it was.
This is what it is. And then they'll come to the conclusion that they can't destroy this civilization because one man cracked the code. And maybe we are worth saving.
Figured it all out.
Figured it all out. You're coming to the Agora on Saturday night. JB Smoove's doing the physical therapy tour. And if you've never seen him live, you're doing yourself a great disservice. How many dates into this are you? Is this a big tour?
Oh, man. I'm 10 in right now. You know what? I'm 10 in, but I am working on Curb Your Enthusiasm right now. I'm back on the set.
Yeah.
So, I had to pull back a little bit as my schedule got a little busy. But this is my last show of the year. Oh, unless something pop up, like a gender reveal show or something, or a wedding or something like that. You know what I mean? But right now, it looks like this is my last show of 2022. And then I'll re-up in January. Right now we're about to go on our little Thanksgiving break for Curb, and then we're going to come back for a little bit, and then we're going to take our holiday break for Christmas, and then we come back in January. So January I will be back and hitting North Kakalaki, my roots down from North Carolina. Hootie-hoo.
So you'll be closing out. You'll be closing out 2022 here in Cleveland on Saturday night. Then, as far as the tour goes,
we should damn near make it like a New Year's comedy.
Yeah,
because that's it. This is it for the year. 2022, you better get this damn knowledge right now, because this is what's going to propel you into 2023. This kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about.
It's like a giant rubber band to hug you and shoot you into the next year, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like it's a slingshot. That piece of, it's like a Y. It's a Y.
Like an old school Dennis the Menace slingshot. Wow.
Old school. I'm like an old school. That's what I am. I'm old school, man. I'm an old school slingshot. And I'm gonna pull you back, and I'm gonna propel you forward into 2023.
Boy, you talk about Curb Your Enthusiasm. You've been on that show for 15 years now, haven't you?
Isn't that crazy?
I bet nobody ever thought that this show would be on longer than Seinfeld. Like, there's been long gaps in between seasons, I realize, but it's been on HBO for 20 years.
I know. I'm not surprised, though. You know why? Because the world keeps changing, and Larry keeps having his take on the world.
Right.
And all these things that we go through, man, the cringeworthy things that Larry puts in the show, humanity is what it is, and it's going to continue to keep putting Larry in these positions where he has to speak out and take those little nuggets of life and make them, put them in the show, So,
but he does have a. This is season 12. You guys are shooting. He does have a singular way of taking different threads and not just connecting them, but making them all fit perfectly and still be very funny, rather than like preachy or angry or anything like that. It's always so funny.
Always so funny, man. We're having a blast right now already. We're having a good time. We've been shooting for a few weeks, but we rolling, man, and I'm very excited about people seeing this new season of Curb, man, and we having a blast.
Do they know yet? Does HBO know when that will? It's probably too early to say when they'll release.
Oh yeah,
next
we
year.
don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know. We don't know. They don't give that to us. But we are having a ball, and I'm just, I'm really happy that I got a chance to be on this show. It was my favorite show before I got on the show. So for me, it's a big plus, And this is my 6th season right now. 6th season, man. So
Well, I know that
and
you
matter of
were,
fact,
but I imagine, you and Larry, there were a lot of years in between your tenures at SNL too. You guys didn't cross paths over there. Had he just known about you? Were you recommended to him, or how did it start up?
No, he didn't. We didn't even. Larry and I didn't know each other. I didn't know anybody on the show at all. I didn't know anybody. The only one close would be Susie. Susie's from Mount Vernon. We both went to the same high school, but Susie, she's older.
Sure.
But she is a Mount Vernonite. So, that was it, man. But I didn't know anybody when I walked into the audition. I guess I was there on a whim.
Yeah.
I wasn't even supposed to be in LA that one day, and I ended up going in there, last minute, and I'm happy. I'm happy I got a chance to go in there, and meet Larry for the first time. But you know what? I think it's one of those things also that I feel as though we met already somewhere, and I can't explain the universe to you, but all I know is I took an improv class, the first thing I ever did when I first started doing stand-up, and who would know I would take that little improv class I took in, I don't want to tell my age, but damn, in probably 1990.
Yeah.
Took that little improv class, and then I went from there, man. And
but you're also a guy who clearly has, like, I know Seth Meyers has said one time that there was nobody who pitched more hilarious ideas than J.B. Smoove in the room, but they were ideas that could never be fleshed out into a full sketch. So, like, you clearly had the raw stuff, and you just had to figure out how to fashion it.
And that's what it is, man.
Yeah.
You find out what you do well, and all of a sudden you build your product. And now it makes sense now. You know what I mean? Me throwing out these crazy ideas, like the guy that worked in the bank, counting money, as a teller, and next thing you know, he gets fired and he ends up in a sandwich shop, but he keeps licking his finger by mistake when he's making
the cash, right. Yeah. No, I like the one that I heard about was the helicopter family, where everybody walked around crouched down because they grew up around helicopters. I think that's so friggin' funny. But again, that's something that's it's like a great, like a great one-line thing. I like seeing you in things that, like, I watch you on Blockbuster. I think that's a funny show over on Netflix. But I saw you in the Gerard Carmichael movie too, On the Count of Three.
Oh yeah, man.
And I like seeing you do different things. I mean, there's like, when somebody says J.B. Smoove, you go, oh, I know what he's going to do. But I like seeing you in kind of those stranger little things.
I do love that. And you know what? We as comedians, we are truly actors. We have to mask our pain, and find a way to make it funny. And I think that's the unique thing about acting that that movie really allowed me to have fun. But the same thing with Blockbuster. Blockbuster, it's hard, it's funny, it's I get a chance to be a single dad, and and trying to get a relationship with my daughter, but that Count of Three, man, that was me diving in. But I can't wait to really start to dive into that side of me. I'm looking forward to villain one day.
I can't. You know what they need to do? They need to get you into one of those Fast and Furious movies. They need to just drop you in the middle of one of those casts and let you do your thing. This next one's like number 10. It's like a $400 million budget. Toss J.B. Smoove some of that money and let him do his thing.
Let me do my thing, baby. And or I look good in a damn suit too. Maybe going to be one of those 007 movies, James Bond movies, or something like that.
James Bond, right?
And I love to chase people. I'm a chaser. I chase you down. I'm giving you a verbal ass whooping, and I'm gonna kick your ass when I catch you.
Yes,
I do both. Oh, while I'm chasing you, I'm just talking to you the whole time.
The whole time. Yep. So you verbally wear them down, and then when you finally catch up with them, then there's the ass kicking.
Ooh, yeah. See, and it throws you off when someone's chasing you and talking to you at the same time. You know what I want to do a movie with? Samuel L. Jackson. I think me and Samuel L. Jackson will do an amazing movie.
I can't believe you haven't. He's done every movie. I can't believe you guys haven't.
He's done every movie in creation. You know what? I met him it's crazy that I didn't know him all these years. I met him finally on the red carpet of Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that crazy?
You're the teacher in
And
Spider-Man.
We stood there like, we both stood there like, how do we not know each other all this time?
Right.
I don't know, man. It's strange, you know. But, you know, we did talk a little bit. We said, hey, man, it would be a great idea. Man, you do something together. Let's make it happen, JB. I said, let's make it happen, man.
Let's make it happen.
I think he's amazing. Let's make it happen. Anybody out there who's doing some movies, directing some movies, let's make it happen. JB Smoove, Samuel L. Jackson, let's make it happen. Come on.
There is no one like JB Smoove. He's doing the Agora on Saturday night. It's the physical therapy tour. It is the last date on the tour in Cleveland. He's going to close out 2022 on Saturday night. You can go to agoracleveland.com for the details on the tickets. He's snap JB Smoove on social media. And I always like talking to you, man. Thanks for your time, pal.
It's always great, man. Yeah, always great. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
All right, pal. There's JB Smoove. He's going to be on stage at the Agora Saturday night. I don't know how much tickets are, but who cares? He's the best.
I think they start at 35.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Let me take a break here. If you want to text for anything, 35192. AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch live and listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7
WMMS.